Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm at Sycamore Yamaha in Uppingham and we're here for the Yamaha Weekend Live. I'm going to test ride a couple of bikes today. I'm going to ride the new MT09 2024 and also the XSR900 GP and give you guys a comparison. So sit back, relax and come along for the ride. So these Yamaha Live Weekends are literally Sycamore Yamaha. They get the whole fleet of demo bikes out and you can just book on. You can literally ride every single one if you've got time to do the whole weekend, Friday to Sunday. I'm here on the Sunday today. One of the bikes I was interested in jumping on today is this new MT09 for 2024, and aesthetically straight away you can see the differences in the bike. And if I compare it to, we've got a 24 plate 09 SP, but this is kind of the old shape, so you can see from the tank on that and the rear seat. That's one of the things I didn't like about this 23 model. I wasn't keen on this seat. If you come over to the 24 model, the new one, and you've got this sort of like seat that separates the two, that's a little bit slimmer there. The tank is a little bit wider, a little bit flatter. So one of the other things that they've changed on this model as well is the front headlight as well, and I think that looks absolutely brilliant. It suits the bike better. Looks a bit more kind of futuristic. Again, if I just show you on the old one, just for a comparison, that was the kind of 2023 headlight, which you know, it's not bad. It's still carrying the same sort of CP3 engine. They've got it in 3 different colours. This is the Scion, I believe, and they also do a black and a blue. And yeah, you've got quite a nice lineup of bikes here. This is the other one I'm going to be riding as well. After that, it's the XSR900 GP. Fundamentally the same engine, similar setup, different design. That looks absolutely beautiful. A sports retro bike. It's got the Akropovich exhaust on it as well. But yeah, super looking forward to this bike. I rode the MT09 SP, that bike, last year. This is the standard one. They will be bringing out an SP version soon. This bike's coming in at £10,106, I believe, and we'll just get kitted up, get ready, jump on this bike, and let's go for that ride. Yeah, I must admit, I'm happy to be back on this MT09. Love the riding position. I think the geometry's been slightly changed for 2024. I think the handlebars are further back, lower, and I think the pegs are slightly higher. Gives it a little bit more of a sportier, aggressive riding style.
Coming out with you today?
Yes, and we got James, who works here. He's coming out. He's got all these bikes and he's picked the scooter. And like I say, this one's got the Acro can on it. We'll just give it a little twist. The controls are all different. Like I say, that tank looks nice. We've got these little air ducts here that to give it that induction noise as it scoops through the tank and pops back out. Sounds nice. Sounds nice with that can on. Not overpowering, but a nice hum to it. That throttle feels responsive, but here we go. Straight away, as soon as you get on that throttle, it's like wants to fly. I mean, I have got it in sports mode. Like I say, this bike's still carrying that C3P engine, the 890cc inline 3. Yeah, and these naked bikes, yeah, Yamaha does a fantastic job of just putting that sportiness into perspective. Updated for this year, the front brake lever's also got the Brembo master cylinder, just to give it a little bit more feel. Yeah, I'm getting on those brakes now. It's like they work well. Just going down the box, the quick shifter's been updated. It's a 3rd generation one for Yamaha, and what that means is you can now pin that throttle on the downs. Seat height 825mm means at 5'9" I'm flat on the ground. When you open that throttle up, that front end gets really light. And I'm liking the new riding position. It feels that little bit more sporty, but there's no heavy weight on your wrists. You're still upright. Your knees are nicely tucked into this newly shaped tank. So far, I think the aesthetics that Yamaha have bought for this bike for 2024 are an improvement over the last gen. Yeah, that quick shifter is buttery smooth. As we go around the roundabout, yeah, that feels nice. It just feels so light, this bike does. Last year I did a back-to-back test on the MT09 SP and the MT10, and I think I came to the conclusion that MT10, in my eyes, is too much for the road. With this, you've still got 117 brake horsepower and 93 Newton meters of torque. That's more than enough power for this road. That sound as you accelerate. Yeah, that quick shifter's nice. The throttle feels super responsive. This bike just wants to bring out that hooligan in you. Oh, when I get hard onto that front brake. Yeah, they work really well. Oh no, what have we got here? We've got the residents out with the speed gun. So yeah, the switch gear looks nicely laid out, and I think it's only really 200 quid up on last year's price, which for all the extras, I don't think that's bad at all. Let's just open her up. Whoa! Wow! Yeah, I can feel that ABS kicking in on the rear. There's a lovely pop on that induction noise when you get into them higher RPMs. Then with the switch gear, I've just hit the indicator to turn right. Nicely into neutral. Yeah, so you kind of do a press then a softer press to cancel, otherwise it's self-cancelling, but I think that only comes in at a certain lean angle. And I just think what they've done with the switch gear, like with the mode button, it's just so simply set out. And that's kind of what you want really. You can still change it on the fly if you drop off the throttle. So far, I'm absolutely loving this bike. This engine is just superb. They changed it in 2021. They've made some tweaks to it, which has only made it better. Let's just try the open throttle with the downward on the shifter. Whoa! Let's try them brakes. Wow, this bike has got some good stopping power. And it needs it as well. You can just throw it into the corners, but when you blip that throttle, it just wants to jump out of its skin. I'll just drop it into, what should we put it into? Put it into street mode, just to show you guys what the difference is on the throttle. Yeah, so there is a noticeable difference there when I get on the throttle, which is actually a really nice power delivery. The other one is a bit crazy, but that's why they call them sports modes. But it's also nice to get that differential between each mode. You've got rain mode, so you've got 3 modes, and you've got 2 custom modes that you can go in and individually set to how you want it. So you've got top of the range electronics on this. Slide control, wheelie control, your traction control, quarter in ABS, you name it, this bike's got it. So the 5-inch colour TFT screen's really nice as well. Again, the seat's really comfortable, definitely got a bit more of an aggressive riding style, but I don't feel uncomfortable. Like I said, if you drop off the throttle, you can then put it into different modes. I've just put it into rain mode now, although it's not raining. if you're a bit of a novice rider and you just want to go a bit easier, then you know this bike's not intimidating in the correct mode. We'll just get it back into sports mode. Tell you what, I would love to take this bike on track as well. I think on some of the circuits like Mallory Park, Cadwell Park, and even Donington, I really do think you're going to have some fun on this bike. Yeah, so far the roads have been pretty smooth. The suspension feels good. I believe we've got the KYB suspension. Right, we're going for the overtake. Whoa! Yeah, that front end gets really, really light when you open that up. Right, I think we're just having a few minutes rest just to make sure everybody's comfortable on this ride. But yeah, so far I'm absolutely loving this bike. I mean, if you like the last one, you're going to love this one. I'll give him credit, that looks comfortable. Well, we'll all get there one day. I'm about 10 years older than him. If I remember correctly, I think the tyres they're running, the Bridgestone Battle Axe, these are the Hypersport S23 tyres. They do feel like they've got a lot of grip. Yeah, the handling on this bike is just absolutely superb. Honestly, I cannot fault it. I think if I was going to pick a naked sports bike at the minute, then it'd have to be this one. Now, this bike handles the road so well. With all that torque coming in at 7,000 RPM. You can just throw it about. And one thing you've got to do when you get on the gas in sports mode, you've really got to get your weight forward, because that front wheel just wants to come up. Stopping power on the bike, I believe it's got twin 298mm discs on the front with a 4-pot piston caliper, and on the rear we've got a 245mm disc with a 2-piston pot caliper. But it's quite a bumpy bit of road, this is. So it's really testing that suspension. And it doesn't seem to be a problem for the bike. It's soaking the bumps up nicely. Whoa! The wheel's coming up! Yeah, this bike does not struggle to wheeler. Yeah, this has been a proper good loop to test these bikes. So, you know, like I said, if you get the opportunity to jump on one of these weekends, then just get yourself booked on. So we're about back at base. We're just going to do a back-to-back comparison. So I think we're going to get a quick bite to eat, and then I'm going to jump on that XSR900 GP. Let's see what that's all about. So there you go, guys, that's the Yamaha MT09. What a fantastic bit of kit. I think if you're after a naked sports bike, then this is going to be absolute perfect. It's such a versatile bike. Everything works so well on it, and you could tell probably from my video, this bike for 10 grand is super fun. So after a quick bite to eat, I am out on this Yamaha XSR900 GP. This one's actually got the race pack on it, which is a $2.5 grand option, but it is missing a couple of bits. It normally comes with a lower fairing. So in the race pack, you do get a full acro system, you get the tail tidy, you normally get a tinted screen. They're still waiting for that to come in, and it is the one with the lower fairing on the front there, which I personally prefer. I think it does set the bike off. If I was going to buy this bike, I'll definitely add that kit. I know it's a lot of money, but I just think it finishes it off absolute perfect. Everybody's getting ready to go out into their group on their selected bikes, and I'll just switch this on so you can have a look at the screen. So again, it's got the 5-inch TFT coloured screen, different dash. I think these are all interchangeable as well. I know on the MT09 I've just been on, you've kind of got 4 different screens you can go on, but I do like that. It does suit the bike. It does give it that retro look. Yeah, I absolutely love the styling of this bike. Still carries that same MT09 CP3 engine that they use in this and the Tracer. Again, 117 brake horsepower, 93 Nm of torque. It's got the same brakes, it's got the same forks. It's got this lovely aluminium swing arm here. Just fire it up so you can have a little listen to this exhaust. They're not overly loud because they're still Euro compliant. But that does sound nice. It's got the same switchgear as the MT09 2024 model. Very sporty setup. Yeah, and straight away when you're on the bike, you do feel like you're on that sports bike. You are in that position, your feet are higher, you've certainly got some weight on the wrist. And when you open it up, you've definitely got that same feel of that MT09, that CP3 engine. That beautiful smooth quick shifter. Yeah, this bike can shift when you get your head down. It's got the same brakes on as the MT09. It's got that twin 298mm front disc with a 4-pot piston, the 245 disc on the rear with a 2-pot piston caliper. If you're the sort of guy that's used to that naked bike setup, then you are going to feel that weight on your shoulders and your wrists. The bit that sells it to me alone, apart from the fact that it's got all the bits like the MT09, but the styling is just superb, you know. If you want to stand out from the crowd, then this is the bike that does that. It doesn't seem to want to lift up like the MT09. Maybe the wheelbase is a bit longer, or the fact that your weight's all on the front. But we'll just give it a go. Yeah, you don't get that front end wobble when you accelerate on this bike, so it's definitely well planted. I'm still trying to get used to this indicator switch gear. Again, that gearbox is absolutely lovely. We've got a slightly higher seat height at 835mm, but again, I'm all right. I've still got my feet down. My knees are tucked in on the tank. This would be an awesome bike to do a couple of track days on. Yeah, when you get on them brakes, again, they work really well. Plenty of stopping power. I'd find it very difficult to choose between the two. And I'm hoping by the end of this ride, I'll have an answer for you. You do feel like you are on a proper sports bike. There's no question about it. Looking at the top yoke and the top of the suspension struts there, the finish on it is just superb. Again, a bit like the MT09, riding at these slower speeds, it's just easy. There's no jerkiness. That's a real nice fuel delivery, dead smooth. But then when you open that throttle up, it just turns into an absolute animal. But to go and do a long all-day journey probably isn't for me. But as for a Sunday blast, well, I don't know, I think I'd pick this one on looks alone. Yeah, the self-cancelling indicators seem to be working okay. Just as I went round that bend just then, it kind of cancelled out on me. T09 with that upright position feels a bit more nimble in the corners, but like I said, very light on the front end. And this one sounds just as nice with the Ergonomics exhaust once you get into them higher revs. That suspension's working really well with the braking. I don't feel like it's diving too much, but again, all that is adjustable. Adjustable rear shocks, adjustable front forks. It still carries that KYB suspension. You can tell the fueling is just perfect on this bike. Even in third gear, when you drop down to them lower RPMs and go them slower speeds, you wind the throttle on, it's just so smooth. But as you get to that 7,000 RPM, that 93 Newton meter of torque kick in, that's when this bike comes alive. Again, this bike comes with things like the cruise control. Just take that pressure off the wrist if you're doing a longer journey. Again, that comes as standard, the same switch gear as the MT09. Again, we're just doing a quick stop just to make sure everybody's comfortable. The side stand's nice and easy to get down as well. This bike's still got the 180 back tyre and the 120 front, still got the 17-inch wheels. Like I said, still carries that CP3 engine. That's a fantastic engine. There's, like I said, with the gearbox, the quick shifter. Like I said, the riding position, I think you'd get used to it over time. It's a little bit heavy on the wrists, but all in all, that you don't feel too compromised. Well,
giving the brakes a good work because your hazards keep coming on.
Oh, do they? Is that a good thing or not? Yeah, I've got a couple of brake tests.
Yeah, it's alright. It's not, out of all of the demos, that's the newest. So all of the miles on that have literally been put on it Friday, yesterday and today. So the whole thing's still bedding in with that.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, it just gives the guys an opportunity just to chop and change the bikes a little bit if they want to, which is the great thing about coming on these sort of Yamaha Live Weekends. You know, you book a bike, you can book over 3 days, you can book, I think there's the couple over there, they're doing like maybe 3 or 4 test rides just over one day, and you've got 3 days you can do that. But what a beautiful bike. And the thing is, the screen comes on nice and quick as well. There's no sort of delay in that. I mean, there's a few bumps in the road, but like I say, that suspension, it really does soak it up nice. I mean, you heard me say how good that MT09 is, and this is basically integrated into this XSR900 GP. It shares so many similarities. And to me, it's all about having choice. And I think whichever you decide to, if you're looking at either of these bikes, you won't be disappointed. I guess the only downside, if you're on a bit of a budget, this bike is £12,500. And like I said, if you're going to start chucking that kit on, you're kind of over the £15,000 mark. So we've done a slightly shorter route this time, but it just gives me a chance to jump on it and just give you guys a little bit of a feedback. And like I said, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with either of these bikes. Yeah, one thing I've just noticed, the turning circles not as good as the MT09, but it is a sports bike. So yeah, there you have it guys, that's the Yamaha XSR900 GP. Again, what another fantastic bike. I mean, personally, it's going to come down to personal choice, ain't it? Out of the two I've ridden today, I think for me, I'd probably have to go for the Yamaha MT09, purely because it's just got that light end feel, and you can just get that front wheel up if you want to have a little bit more fun. This one on looks alone wins hands down. So let me know in the comments guys, which one would you choose? Would it be the MT09 or would it be the XSR900 GP? So I hope you like the video guys. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a like and I'll see you in the next one.